Chapter 25. So it's my own family who is the villain. Song Shi asked a constable to bring him to the government office, but he could not stop thinking about this goo. It's too disgusting to be killed by this black blood venomous goo insect. After thinking about these things growing in my flesh and blood, I don't want to farm death anymore. In the midst of his disgust, Song Shi rejected the idea of eating a goo worm to court death. Then he thought of how his surviving family members had probably also been poisoned and wondered how he should resolve this issue. As soon as he reached the government office, he heard a scream. Ban! The government office was slammed open from the inside. Song Jian's guard, Tufan, rushed out with disheveled hair and red eyes. I won't die. I won't. His muscles squirmed crazily and he looked bigger. Blood was flowing from his 7 orifices and something was drilling crazily in his body. It's over, guard has also been poisoned. Perhaps it was because Tufan often went out with Song Jian to do things that the constable beside Song Shi recognized him. His face was pale as he watched Tufan rush away like a madman. Puff! A sharp arrow shot over and pierced through Tufan's forehead, nailing him to the door of the government office. A man in black appeared with a longbow in his hand. He said coldly, "The Black Iron Guards of the Demon Slayers Department will take over this place. Anyone who is poisoned is not allowed to step out of the government office. Otherwise, they will be killed without mercy." Swoosh, 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 another 3 people appeared. They flew over roofs and walls, turned into shadows and separated, blocking the other exits of the government office. Song Shi saw that the Black Iron Guards did not do anything after sealing the exit. He did not ask further and continued to walk towards the door. Through the door, he could see a few corpses lying on the ground, bleeding from their 7 orifices. They must be the people who had been killed by the black blood venomous goo insect recently. In the inner hall less than 10 feet away from the corpse, dozens of disheveled figures were gathered together. They looked terrified and uneasy, and their eyes were filled with fatigue and fear. Even the new heroine Song Jia, who was in high spirits, was frozen like a frosted eggplant, her soul weary. Her beautiful dream of roaming the martial world was shattered after a trip back home. Even bodyguard too was poisoned. "No, I don't want to bleed to death. Somebody help us." Few men were crying and the men were also uneasy. Who would have thought that these usually glamorous and rich people would end up like this? Only a small number of guards and higher-ups of the Song family remained calm, but their expressions were not good. "Elder kin, are we all poisoned?" A plump old man in his 60s asked the old man with white hair and beard uneasily. The former was the head of the Song family, Song Wan, and the latter was the Khanate expert, Qin Zhonglin. Qin Zhonglin's face was full of wrinkles and his aura was a little unstable. There was a pool of blood on his chest, and it was unknown if it was his or someone else's. He sighed. "I definitely didn't get poisoned. As for you guys, if you drank raw water recently, you should have been poisoned." The others' hearts sank again. Their fragile hearts collapsed on the spot. "I don't want to die from these bugs. I'd rather kill myself than become a monster covered in insects. Someone give me a quick death." Those who had drunk raw water despaired on the spot. "I've never drunk it." Songjia was pleasantly surprised. She had just returned yesterday, so she had no chance to drink raw water. Neither do. "Fortunately, it's cold. I didn't drink cold water." These few family members of the Song family were overjoyed, in stark contrast to the other desperate ones. At this moment, it could be seen that most of the people drinking the raw water were maidservants, servants, and guards. However, there were also a few concubines and some young masters. Because in this backward era, not many people would think of boiling water before drinking it. Fortunately, I have always been with the 7th young master. Unless it's summer, I've long developed the habit of drinking boiled water. Big Smart thought happily. The other guards stood at the side with ugly expressions. It was obvious that they had drunk it. Song Wan was old and had not drunk raw water recently. When he saw that most of his surviving sons and daughters had suffered, his expression was desolate as he said sadly, "More than half of them were poisoned. What sins did my family commit to face such a tragic calamity that is about to exterminate our family? Last night, that demon said that your Song family had once caused his family to be ruined. How could you not have committed any sins?" Qin Zhonglin scoffed. "I can only say that you're unlucky to have offended such a demon. If I hadn't run away quickly, I would have died. Last night, some of the guards looked at each other and took a step forward. Master Song, if I don't die this time, I'll leave the Song family, Medu, me as well, other than the guards trained by the Song family or those who were loyal to the Song family. The rest of the guards expressed that they would leave the Song family. In the end, many left with no hesitation. Seeing that the last of the people had dispersed, the Song family's mood became even gloomier. Big Smart, who was holding a long saber in the corner, hesitated. Suddenly, he saw a person walking over from outside the door and hurriedly stood up. Seventh young master. Yeah, Sanshi nodded slightly. Seventh brother, a girl with a childish voice called out. She was the only one who took the initiative to call out to Songshi. The others were in no mood to pay attention to her. Songshi looked over. An 11 or 12-year-old girl was crying pitifully. This was the daughter of the 8th concubine, Sonshabe. She was 15th in the family, perhaps because she did not have a son. Her status was very low, as she was similar to Sanshi. The two of them lived close. The 8th branch had a good relationship with him, the so-called 7th branch. Occasionally, he would bring some food and toys for this girl, so she was a little overly attached to him. However, he was a man and was not interested in playing with a little girl, so he did not pay much attention to this dependence. Bye-bye. It's okay, don't cry. Sanshi patted Sonbai's head and looked around, but he did not see his 8th aunt. She had probability, HMPH, like it's really fine. You make it sound so easy. An old woman who also had tears on her face sneered. Your eldest brother, second brother, fourth sister, and sixth brother are all dead, yet you still say that you're fine. Hearing these harsh words, Songshi walked over and slapped her. Pak. With a crisp sound, the old woman was slapped to the ground. Old witch, in comforting a little girl, why are you purposely attacking me? Songshi had long been unhappy with the main branch. Usually they would always pick on him relentlessly. Even now, they still did not stop. Did they really think that he had no way to stand up to them? You, how dare you hit him? The first madam stared at Songshi in disbelief, and immediately tried to scratch him. Pak. Another slap, the latter covered her face and finally quietened down. How dare you? Songwon stood up and was furious, unfilial. Son, it's fine if you visit brothels every day, but now you have started to disrespect your elders. Isn't it better to visit a brothel than to attract demons? Songshi sneered. A family of more than 300 people has all become corpses. Old man, shouldn't you tell me what happened? Songwon's face twitched and the look in his eyes changed. He obviously knew what was going on. I'd like to hear what's going on. Sakongya appeared at the door. Minister. Song. If you don't tell me now, your entire family might be exterminated. Read latest chapters at wuxia-world.site only. Commander Red Silver of the Demon Slayers. When Qin Zhonglin saw the token on Sakongya's waist, he hurriedly stood up and bowed. Greetings, Commander. Brother Qin, you're too polite. Sakongya, the person in charge of the branch of the Demon Slayers division in the Bo Prefecture of Jiangnan. I've been ordered to capture the demon, Hai Duzi, and bring him to justice. Sakongya cupped his fists and looked coldly at Songwon. Speak. Songwon's eyelids twitched, and he could only helplessly say, this matter has something to do with my third son, Songhu, who took the imperial examination. No one had expected that person to learn a demonic technique to take revenge on my Song family. Hearing this, Songshi cursed silently. It turned out that his family was the villain. The other party was just here for revenge.